You're listening to WTIM, your information station. It's time now for your expanded local news. The Taylorville City Council met on Monday evening, recognizing guests, approving ordinances, and reviewing committee reports. The council recognized Taylorville athletes Max Green and Cade Beckmeyer. Cade recently was honored for being named the FFA Star Farmer for the state of Illinois.
Tonight, we'd like to recognize two high school from Taylorville High School. The first one I'm going to recognize is Cade Beckmeyer, if Cade would stand. Cade was a special person in the class of 2025. Not only was he a three-sport athlete competing in football, basketball, and baseball, he was a state finalist in the FFA for forage production and went on to be named the Star Farmer for the state of Illinois. The next person I'd like to honor is Max Greeny, if Max would stand. Max hit .519 this year with 4 home runs, 22 RBIs, threw out 5 guys trying to steal, and picked off an amazing nine base runners. He was academic all-conference, unanimous all-conference as a catcher, and led the team to Apollo Conference co-champions. I think it's the first year we've ever been Apollo Conference champions in baseball.
Tate Thomas was given the oath of office from the Taylorville Fire Department. 2 separate ordinances were approved, one for the city of Taylorville and Cozy Grind, that vote 6-2 with Alderman Chris Skoltedy and Megan Bryant voting no, and the other for the city of Taylorville and Rick Champley, that was approved 8-0. Under committee reports, the council approved the following motions: a resolution to provide indemnity for not only directors, but employees of the Taylorville Public Library, approving the fiscal year budgets and appropriations for fiscal year 2025-26, and approving the purchase of 1 new Caterpillar 953 track-type loader and put it out for bid. The council heard from the city attorney and Taylorville Mayor Bruce Berry, who was very thrilled with the turnout at the Taylorville 4th of July parade.
Mayor report. Thanks to everyone that made the 4th of July parade a success. Special thank you to Mike Mann. I don't think we would have had the parade without him. Thank you to Jeffrey Ortman. The lake looked great. Thank you to Mike Tennant. The cemetery looked better than the lake. And thank you to Bob Rogers for agreeing to be the parade marshal. Thank you.
The next city council meeting is set for July 21st. A new principal has been named at North School, bringing with him years of experience in education. Ben Cunningham has been chosen to replace Karen Huntsman following her recent exit from the district. Cunningham has had a strong desire to move to administration and share his love for teaching and education with staff and students. Originally from Clio, Michigan, he earned his undergraduate degree from Greenville University, where he also met his wife, Amanda. He began his career teaching 5th grade at the elementary school in Greenville before completing a master's degree in educational administration from Eastern Illinois University. After the birth of his 2 sons, Mitchell and Jackson, and his daughter Kate on the way, Cunningham decided to take a position closer to home. He joined the Hillsborough School District, teaching 4th grade, and later moving to the junior high level to teach 6th grade social studies. He also coached volleyball during his time there. Cunningham now looks forward to joining the Taylorville School District and is eager to support students, staff, and their families at North Elementary. You can help children and youth in the Taylorville community that have food insecurity by donating non-perishable food and monetary donations this summer at the Taylorville Kiwanis Club drive-thru donation days. The next one is set for this Saturday from 9 a.m. until noon at the Miller Media Group front parking lot at 918 East Park Street in Taylorville. Kiwanis members will be on hand to collect your donations of non-perishable food or money. At the end of Saturday's effort, all food and money will be donated to the Taylorville Food Pantry to assist in their ongoing efforts to provide for children, youth, and families that have food insecurity. This is the 6th consecutive year that the Taylorville Kiwanis Club are assisting the Taylorville Food Pantry to provide food for those in need. A new independent healthcare facility in Taylorville is looking to stand out in how they help their patients recover and stay healthy. The place is called Anselm Integrative Wellness, and it's located at 602 East Park Street in Taylorville. Their treatment plans combine conventional medicine with nature based approaches. It makes for more personalized care. Angela Anselm is the owner of Anselm Integrated Wellness. Her daughter Ashley died of brain cancer a few years ago now, and this experience, along with the care she sought for her daughter, are what inspired the new business.
And when she was diagnosed, she became my, kind of focus responsibility. And through that time, we did conventional medicine, but being a mom, I dove into everything there was. And I'd always been interested in natural approaches, but that's when I really dived. And I saw how much a difference it'd make doing the supplementation of the natural approaches. And they had given her a little over 2 years to live, and she lived 5. And her oncologist even told us that when I'd go in his office, he'd look at me like I had 2 heads, and then he'd see how well she was doing. And her last visit with him, he let me know that he was implementing a lot of things that I did with her, into his practice. And then it became kind of a desire of mine.
Anselm does anticipate insurance being an obstacle for some people to receive this treatment from her practice. That's because such policies often do not cover this method of care. She intends to handle all transactions with cash as a workaround to this hurdle.
I'm going to be a cash-only business. I'm trying to make it very, very reasonable, very economical. The reason I'm doing that, number one, insurance doesn't pay for a lot of a conventional or alternative integrative medicine choices, which is very sad. But it is the way it is. Number two, if you've ever had any experience in the, current hospital medical system, it's very frustrating. You have to get approval for this, approval for that. There's so much overhead and stuff that makes passed on to the consumer. So being a cash only business, I don't have to deal with any of that, and I can keep my prices reasonable.
Patients who are considering taking up treatment at this location begin with an initial consultation. It's a longer appointment as both provider and patient consider the many options that are available.
Okay, first step would be when you come in that door, expect to spend an hour or 2 with me. I'm only going to take appointments. One thing that I've noticed in my job is because in the past, it's because of insurance things and stuff, it's in and out. We don't have time to sit. Why I want to sit down with you, talk about your family background, talk about the symptoms you're having, the house you live in because of the toxins, what kind of chronic diseases you have. Basically, by healing your gut, a lot of things, that's kind of the first layer. You kind of peel it like an onion. And the first layer is healing your gut.
Anselm enjoys teaching about health and well being and believes she can use this to help people make informed decisions about their health moving forward.
And that's exactly, everybody probably knows since I'm from here, but I'm 64 years old and I should be retiring, but instead I love to teach. So I give free classes on multiple things. I'm open to giving them on other things. We've had hormone classes. We've had healthy lifestyle classes. We've had, there's a big, what I want to say, discussion about vaccines right now, especially since Robert Kennedy Jr. got put in his position at HSHS. So I consider myself, I'd say, vaccine neutral. I think it's up to the individual parent or person to make that decision. But I feel like in today's current medical system, doctors and providers, nurse practitioners, or PA don't have time to sit down and discuss, like all the ingredients, all the side effects.
More information on Anselm Integrative Wellness is at their Facebook page. Angela Anselm appeared as a guest on the WTIM morning show. The Assumption Community Pride Organization is off to a busy start for its summer. Events and fundraisers are giving them plenty to focus on, as is the opening of the new child care center in town. Nonetheless, the organization looks to use these happenings and other developments to boost the community's standing and attract new residents and businesses. Assumption Community Pride is involved in putting on the town's 4th of July fireworks show. President Derek Page says a bingo event started before the show and helped raise money for the St. Jude Runners.
Well, we're going to shoot off some great fireworks. Dusk, so probably around 9 o'clock. But prior to that, starting about 7 o'clock at the concession stand, which is right next to the baseball field in the slag pile area, Assumption Community Pride, as a fundraiser for the St. Jude Runners, will be doing bingo. And then we're also going to be selling drinks and popcorn. When I mean drinks, like, sodas and things of that nature. And it's all going to the St. Jude Runners that will be coming through the early morning of August the 2nd, that Saturday.
The bingo cards cost only $1 each, and those proceeds were part of the runners' long journey, where they eventually reached St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
The St. Jude's Fund, it's a fundraiser that they do. They do the Memphis to Peoria run, and they leave about the end of July. Typically, I think it's like on a Monday, and they run nonstop from Memphis to Peoria. And during this branch of that run, they stop in Assumption. Assumption is, they have two teams. They usually have like a red team and a blue team, and Assumption is a stopping point for them for the team. So if the red team is running, let's say from Ramsey to Assumption, they'll turn it over, and then the next color will run from basically, it might be from Assumption to Decatur. And so they come in, it's around 1 a.m. in the morning. So that would be on that August the 2nd. And what we do in the community, we fundraise for St. Jude's for the whole year.
Assumption Community Pride also played a key role in the opening of the town's new child care center. They partnered with the Assumption First United Methodist Church and Kimmerer Village to help make it happen. Page says this new location will go a long way to addressing a major need in the area.
This need kind of came out way back in in 2021 when we did a mapping through Western Illinois University. And it showed that childcare is we're in a childcare desert, for one. And when we were seeing that, it's like, okay, we need to put a focus onto that. So we kind of started shopping around with Assumption Community Pride and some business leaders that maybe we could bring a business to town. Well, we weren't able to really do that. But then Kimmer stepped up and said, hey, we'll be willing to help you with this to fit this need. And then this United Methodist Church, they have a large size building, and then they have vacant classrooms that they are no longer using, was the perfect spot for them.
Assumption is also rolling out the new Baxmeyer subdivision. Page says these 16 new lots of land will entice people to move to the area and stay in the area.
If you're looking for a place to move, so if you're not happy, in your current location, or you're retiring and you want to build your dream home, come to Assumption. We have 16 lots, and there's $5,000 for a 0.60 acre, basically. And there is some covenants to it. I mean, no house can be smaller than 1,800 square foot. But it's a great subdivision that's located right off of Business 51, and it's right there to the south of Assumption. The plan of it, the idea of this came from Diedrich has done something like this, and we had the opportunity, the city did, to acquire some land. So we did, and we thought this would be a great way for the community to basically grow. We have never had an opportunity to grow the boundaries of Assumption, other than some little parcels here and there, but grow at the magnitude for more housing in years.
The lots can be seen on Realtor.com. More information on Assumption Community Pride is available at their Facebook page. Derek Page appeared as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show. The new Illinois FFA Major State Officer team has been in office for about a month now. Coben Tate is vice president and hails from the Illini West chapter. Prior to becoming Illinois FFA vice president, Tate served as Section 11 president. The price of electricity is expected to go up this summer, so Central and Southern Illinois' largest utility is offering some ideas to help cushion the blow. Ameren, Illinois spokesperson Brian Brecht days, if you decide to crank up the AC, you can try to use some other measures to keep it from working so hard. One simple efficiency is learning to turn off televisions, computers, gaming consoles, and any other electronics that you may leave on constantly. He also suggests using a programmable thermostat to control the temperature automatically. This will conclude the first portion of your expanded local news, brought to you by First National Bank in Taylorville.
I'm James Kirk, Vice President at First National Bank in Taylorville. I get it, switching banks sounds like a chore, but we make it easy. I've helped people and businesses move their accounts with less hassle than they've expected, and more personal service than they've ever gotten before. We've been here for nearly 70 years, a true community bank that's not going anywhere. If you're ready to make a change, we're ready to help. First National Bank in Taylorville, first every time for nearly 70 years. Member FDIC.
Moving now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and are brought to you by Sutton Memorial Home. This is Chad Sparks.
When a loved one passes, grieving family members and friends often are confronted with dozens of decisions about the funeral arrangements. Sutton Memorial Homes in Taylorville and Nokomis have been helping families in the area for over 55 years with these often difficult decisions. They offer pre-planning, traditional funerals, and cremation. Austin and the staff at Sutton Memorial Homes' goal is to make your family's transition easier in their time of need. Sutton Memorial Homes, where caring is what they do best.
70-year-old Rhonda J. Bramall of Mount Auburn died on July 4th. Visitation is July 9th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Full and Wider Park Funeral Home in Illiopolis. Funeral service will be July 9th at 11 a.m. at Full and Wider Park Funeral Home in Illiopolis. Burial will be at Riverside Cemetery. "35-year-old Marshall Jarvis Jr. of Taylorville died on June 27th. A memorial visitation is scheduled for July 9th from 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. at Masterson's Funeral Home in Kincaid. Cremation rights have been accorded, and funeral arrangements are being handled by Masterson Funeral Home in Kincaid. "45-year-old Crystal Ann Bouvet of Taylorville died on July 3rd. Cremation rights have been accorded, and no services will be provided. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home and cremation services in Taylorville. 94-year-old James Bryan Freeman Jr. of Taylorville died July 3rd. A private graveside service will be held at Camp Butler National Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Asali Funeral Home in Taylorville. And 97-year-old Ellen L. Davis of Taylorville died on June 30th. Memorial service is scheduled for July 13th at 3 p.m. at Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. Private burial will be held at a later date. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. Get details on these and other local news stories at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com or on WTIM. WTIM is your only local news radio.
St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Over the years, it has